Hey y'all, welcome back to Mama Loves Manga. Lately, my queer little heart has been so excited to see more Yuri series featuring grown women. Okay, to be honest, Yuri and Girls Love has never really been my thing, not because I'm not interested, but because they tend to focus on like high school girls, middle school girls. I personally have not seen a lot of English translated Yuri or Girls Love series featuring grown women. I don't know if that's because of the demographic. I could be wrong, but I feel that in the way yaoi and BL tends to be geared toward women, Yuri and GL tends to be geared toward men. And maybe that's why English translated Yuri titles and Girls Love titles tend to feature high school girls. I don't want to make assumptions, and some of y'all may not like hearing this come out of my mouth, but I feel like men in general have a tendency to be more okay with explicit content featuring high school girls. I have a whole video about my feelings about explicit content with young people, very young people. So because my preference is to not have teenagers in my romance, I have stayed away from a lot of Yuri titles or even Girls Love titles. However, lately I have been so excited because there have been several Yuri, Girls Love, Women's Love, I should say, releases, and I'm going to talk about them. A couple of them I have already featured in manga chats, but it's totally worth it to mention them again because they are really great and I love them. So let's start with the most recent, and that is Whenever Our Eyes Meet, a Women's Love anthology. This was released by Yen Press, and it's an anthology, so it features work from several different mangaka, and oh my gosh, I just finished reading this today. I do have my bookmark here because I wanted to separate a story that I didn't really love so that I could kind of talk about it. Here is some of the art. This illustration is by Yukiko. So adorable. That was just out of focus. Y'all probably couldn't see that. Sorry. This illustration is by Hajime Sake. Listen, it is not time for sake. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This anthology features, wait, I just counted and I already forgot. I'm old. This anthology features 14 short stories. There are several stories in here that I would love to see as fully fleshed out one-shots or even short series. I just need more grown woman plus grown woman love stories. Please. Please, 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 please. I know they exist. I know they have them in Japan. I just need people to translate them in English so that I can read them, because I'm not going to learn Japanese just to read manga. I'm not gonna do it. I have a lot on my plate already. Okay. Anyway, I loved all of these stories except for one. I'm not gonna go through and talk about each and every one of them because there are 14 and that would take a long time, but they are all very cute. There is no explicit content in this. It is rated older teens. In this anthology, you get stories about established couples or women who have a crush on their coworker, and then they find out that their coworker is also interested in them, and it's so cute. I love it so much. I do highly recommend this if you are interested in reading stories about women who love women, but you aren't comfortable with like explicit content. This is perfect. The only story that I did not like is called Obnoxious You. It follows a young woman who is a teacher, and there's a student of hers that obviously has a crush on her, and the woman, the teacher, is very much like, I see that you have a crush on me, but this can't be a thing, which is totally fine. I'm fine. I was fine with that. Good on her for being like, I see you have a crush on me, but nothing's gonna happen. Now, she does also have feelings for the student, but she never does anything. She never like actually acts on anything, never even tells her, at least while the girl's in school. And then eventually the girl, the young girl, the student, graduates, goes to college, and becomes a teacher herself. And she ends up working at the same school that her former teacher works at. My issue with this story is not necessarily with their relationship, because I mean, heck, they at least waited until they're all grown up. Like, once they're adults, like, what can I say? It's a little creepy that she liked her as a student, but I mean, whatever. Nothing illegal happened. However, my issue is that the older woman, there's a point where she just kind of, just some of the things that she says, she's very much in her head, like, oh, she's doing that again, and oh, she's making me this and this. And it's like, girl, stop blaming her for your feelings. They do end up together in the end, and I mean, it is consensual and they both are adults, but this just wasn't my favorite story. And it was, again, mainly because of certain thoughts that the older woman had that felt very much like, I wouldn't feel this way if you wouldn't do that. And that may not have been the intent, but that's just kind of how I read it, and it just, I didn't love it. But it still is not that, it's not that bad. Like, it wouldn't stop me from recommending this at all. I can take this out now. I really enjoyed this overall. It's such a great anthology. Let's move on to the next one. Another very recent release is I Married My Best Friend to Shut My Parents Up by Kodama Naoko. This was so adorable. Now, this is also marked as older teen. It is not explicit, and I really enjoyed it. It's about a young woman who is at an age where her parents are like, hey, you need to get married. When are you gonna get married? I can't relate because I've been married for 800 years, but I have a lot of friends who are not married yet, and they have to hear their parents ask them why they're not married. And it seems like it would be annoying because marriage is not like the end all be all. Like, there are other things in life, and that's coming from someone who has been happily married for 13 years. You know, it's just, it's not everything, okay? Anyway, so she's annoyed. So her longtime friend waltzes in and is like, hey, well, why don't you marry me? Because your parents will hate it and they'll leave you alone. And the reason why her parents would hate it is because her best friend is a girl and her parents are clearly homophobic. So, you know, our girl, I think her name is Morimoto, she of course was like, you know what, okay, sure. So apparently in certain areas in Tokyo, you can sign up for a type of marriage license, but it's not really legal. It's only legal in that area. So they have to move in together, and it's more so of like they're friends, and it's supposed to be a fake marriage, but over time things blossom, and it's so cute. I enjoyed this a lot. I actually really have a crush on this woman right here. She is my type. I love characters and people in general who are kind of like the opposite of me, because I don't know if y'all can tell from my videos, but I am goofy as hell. Oh my gosh, I just want to go and just be oblivious and have fun and spend money. I need someone who can balance that, who is a little bit more grounded, a little bit more stoic, a little bit more fiscally responsible. I mean, I married someone like that. Her name is Machi and her name is Hana. They are super cute together. I love them both, but I really have a crush on Machi because she's great. So if you want to read a cute, like, best friends to lovers type of story, but with women, you should pick this one up. It's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I read it twice in the same day because I loved it so much. It's just, it's so cute. Here is some of the art. say that the art is, it's cute, it's fine, it's competent. There's nothing super special about it. It doesn't make me gasp, but it is nice and it does not take away from the story at all. The characters are all very cute. Anyway, this is a super cute read. I recommend it. Let's move on to the next one. This is Eve and Eve. I have already done a manga chat for that one. I'll put it up there in the eye. This is explicit. I also love the fact that most of the stories have a strong sci-fi element to them. There are a couple of them that don't really fit into the sci-fi motif, but they are still good. But y'all can watch that video that I did to see more. I just wanted to mention this here because it needs to be mentioned. I highly enjoyed this one. I don't know if everyone has enjoyed this as much as I have, but I freaking loved it. But I also love explicit content. Last but not least, I have After Hours by Yuta Nishio. This is a short 3-volume series and this is released by Viz. I loved this. I already did a manga chat on this one and that will also pop up in the eye. One thing I don't think I mentioned in the manga chat is the fact that this is supposed to be a series that features like the nightlife and DJing and stuff like that. But I don't think it did the best job of really focusing on the nightlife and the DJ life and stuff like that. I didn't learn anything about DJing. You know, there are some series that have like a focus behind them, whether it's a cooking manga or a sports manga. I think this was supposed to be a nightlife DJing manga. It didn't work out that way in my opinion, but I do think it's a great romance. And I love the two characters. I love that they are at different points in their lives. And it's just great. So, After Hours. Check it out. I do have one more one-shot in my collection that I suspect is a Yuri or Girls Love title, and that is Miyuki-chan in Wonderland by Clamp. I have not read this yet, but I flipped through it, and from what I can tell so far, it looks like it's Yuri. I can't say for sure if this is a Yuri or a Girls Love title, but it looks like it. So if I find out after I read this that it actually is, we'll just say that this is an honorable mention. I will put it in the description if this is. And if it's not, we'll just pretend that I didn't mention it in this video, okay? And on that note, I'm gonna go. But before I do, I want to ask y'all to leave me recommendations in the comments for Yuri and Girls Love with grown women, preferably, you know, like at least 18, preferably women that are in their like 20s, 30s. If you know of any, I've had a hard time finding any. So if you know of any, let me know in the comment section below so that I can get my purchase on, because you know I'm all about supporting the kind of content that I want to see being pushed. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Bye. I'm sorry, but my friend just texted me, calling me out on my shadiness. I was being shady. I'm not gonna say where, but I was being shady, and she called me out.